Welcome to the channel. I'm the Scottish Astrologer, and in this video I will give my predictions on what to expect come the year 2022, the next Beltane new moon year. Now 2022 is not only a special year due to a once every 19-year cycle taking place through a new moon landing on Beltane May the 1st, but 2022 is also a numerically rare year, as the last time 3 2s appeared in a year date was way back in the year 1222. So that will be exactly 800 years ago come 2022. So again, 2022 is indeed going to be a special and very significant year, as every Beltane new moon year is, as my video going over all the previous Beltane new moon years shows. So if you haven't already, please check that video out. I will leave a link in the description box below. Now, as I briefly talked about in that video, 2022 is going to be the year of what is now known as the Great Reset. Now, the Great Reset is going to be a complete reset and change to basically every part of life: work, financial, social, technological, food, etc., etc. And this will all come about off the back of this pandemic and events still to come to us all through 2021. And all these events will allow the powers that be the excuse for the kind of Great Reset to totally re-establish a complete new system, a system which they believe will give them total unchallenged control. Now, the Great Reset is their solution to the current problems we are all facing now and are still to face through 2021, like major food shortages and more. It also covers up the global food issue that they could have worked to prevent clearly, but chose to never let a good crisis go to waste, shall we say, and have made it 10 times worse. The natural results of the grand solar minimum, eddy minimum, we are currently entering and are about to get deep into more and more as the years go on, and that causes worse and worse food shortages due to a change in weather cycle and rain patterns moving to different grow zones, shall we say, on the globe, and totally messing up the natural grow zone patterns we have established. They will totally shift, and so that's the natural cause of the food shortages. But again, as we all know, the powers that be are making this 10 times worse by systematically attacking the food system at the same time as we are going through this crisis. Now, the Great Reset will involve all currency becoming digital and blockchained. It will also involve the rollout of AI, 5G and robotics, the Internet of Things. It will also involve, sadly, depopulation, moving to carbon neutral, changing our diet by them totally monopolising the food supply chain. It will involve lab-grown meat, bug protein options in supermarkets. It will involve universal basic income, mass migration from richer nations such as the US and UK to places such as Africa and Asia. It will also involve the mass rollout of green technology like electric and hydrogen powered vehicles, etc. It will also involve everybody getting a global digital ID. Eventually their plan is chips. That's their plan for this ID. And when it comes to the rollout of the chip, it will need to be by consent, by choice. Okay, and I believe people will choose to get the chip simply to gain access again to the internet. Okay, and in turn the new society as a whole as I believe in either 2021 or even 2022, the big event will be an apparent cyber attack on the internet causing complete and utter chaos. And once it's back, it will be agreed that everyone must have a digital ID unique to them to access the internet once again. And when someone such as the head of the World Economic Forum, okay, is saying the next big event everyone needs to prepare for is a cyber attack of the kind I just went over, or cyber terrorism. So when people like that are putting out these warnings, we should of course listen, because they always lay out their plans in some form publicly before they actually do it. And I feel the pandemic, lockdowns, food shortages, civil unrest, and this cyber event I just talked about together enable the perfect excuse for the Great Reset to be accepted by the biggest majority of the people. Not everyone, but the biggest majority. And that's all they need. And how can I be so sure that such a thing as the Great Reset will take place come the year 2022? Well, if you watch my Beltane New Moon Years video, in that I go back 19-year cycles, back 171 years to the year 1851. And on that year, starting May 1st actually, on the very day, there was held a huge event known as the Great Exhibition, which took place in Crystal Palace, London. And if you go back another complete cycle of 19 years to 1680, on that year there was the first ever comet discovered by telescope, known as the Great Comet. So there is a clear pattern every 171 year cycle. Now the Great Comet, the Great Exhibition, and now as we hear the term the Great Reset being flouted right now, you can be sure that this will take place, okay, fully kicking off in 2022, as it has not started yet, because we are still going through the complete designed collapse of the old system, and they are not done yet, okay, far from it. Now, I am not telling you that the Great Reset will be fully completed in all its form by 2022. No, I am saying 2022 will be the beginning of the Great Reset, as it's of course a process that the powers that be want fully completed by 2030, okay? You must have heard of Agenda 2030, it's linked to that. Now, if of course humanity allows this to happen, but that's their plan for us. And now a huge part of this plan will be laid out in Glasgow, Scotland, okay, come November 2021. The whole carbon neutral, green technology side of the change will all be laid out here, okay? Most of it will come this Global Climate Conference, Glasgow, the end of 2021, where the Paris Agreement will evolve into the Glasgow Agreement, okay? Now, I believe also that their Great Reset will lead to what I am coining as the Great Rebellion, where a percentage of people take a stand to all of this. Now, whether the cyber attack I talked about happens or not, the Great Reset will begin regardless. But like I said, it's the powers that be that are putting the cyber attack warning out there. So you should be fully prepared for that reality, as it truly does help with many aspects of their Great Reset. Now, major conflict is another potentiality we also face between nations and people in general. And I honestly hate to be forecasting all this negative, scary, horrible stuff. I really do. And I wish I could give a more positive forecast. But I know it will all be okay in the end. Okay, it's going to be rough, very rough waters ahead. But it will be brighter when we get on the other side of all of this. And finally say enough is enough, okay, to the controllers, to the powers that be. And please always remember, though, that it's always darkest before the dawn. And we're at that darkest moment right now. But the dawn is coming eventually. We just have to get through this time. Now, please understand that the powers that be are actually weak, okay? And their spell or power over us, over humanity, is all fading away fast. The powers that be are petrified of humanity collectively, okay? That is also why they are so desperate to control every aspect of our lives, take away our privacy, and have us 100% reliant on them for everything, okay? If they didn't fear us so much, there would be no need to try so hard to achieve this. Now, in the end, their great reset will not be sustainable, okay, and therefore on what they want from it, and will, in the end, fail badly. But it will do so much damage before that point, okay? Now, the best thing for humanity to do, in my opinion, I say let's hijack their great reset and make it our own great reset and have a great reset truly for the people, by the people. You know, I say let's use the technology available in this time, in this age, okay, for our benefit, not our enslavement. Okay, let me now show you the chart, the astrological chart for the 2022 Beltane May, the first new moon. So as you can see on screen now, this Beltane new moon is in conjunction with Uranus in the zodiac sign of Taurus. Now, Uranus being a planet of sudden change, revolutions, disruptions, and new situations. And as Uranus is the co-ruler of Aquarius, it also represents new technology and all things modern. Now, as Uranus also represents technology, new technology, as I mentioned, and sits in the zodiac sign of Taurus, the zodiac sign that represents money, finances, wealth, and possessions. This is confirming my pre-belief that 2022 will be the year of the Great Reset. Now, 2022 will be the year we all move on to digital currency and we see the end of cash. There is a debt jubilee and we see the end of the debt-based system, and something completely new will be born, but again, involving all digital currency. This is represented by Beltane, May 1st being all about rebirth and the goddess primarily. And so I for sure expect the rebirth of the financial system in a new form come 2022. As the moon is exalted, being in Taurus, and the moon represents the people as a whole, this shows that most people will see the new system as better, as a much better system, whether that is true or not, okay? But this will most likely be a result of free money being doled out, shall we say, in the beginning, to get everyone fully on board with this system, spending, and in turn accepting. Okay, moving on, as we also have the moon, the sun, and Uranus in sextile aspect with Mars, which is in the zodiac sign Pisces. This is clearly showing a physical, through Mars, end to something, with Pisces being the last, the final sign of the zodiac. So it's showing a physical end or completion to something. Now also, not aspecting the moon at this particular moment, we also have Venus, Neptune and Jupiter all nearing the end of the zodiac sign Pisces, and so the zodiac, at the end of the zodiac in general as well. Now Jupiter and Neptune are both rulers of Pisces, and Venus is in exaltation there, so best place there in Pisces. And Mars is the ruler of the water triplicity, so being in Pisces, a water sign, also well placed there. So the energy here in Pisces is very intense and shows to me clearly the shifting away from the old world Piscean age ways and starting over with a new way. Also, humanity will not see all these planets I just mentioned in Pisces together again for at least another 168 years, so do enjoy it. Now, everything except Neptune, okay, so Jupiter, Mars, and Venus, okay, all move out of Pisces in the year 2022. Neptune remains there till 2024. Now, Jupiter even leaves Pisces on Christmas Day 2022. Tropically, of course, it moves into Aries on that day. So again, all these planets are meant to be in Pisces, okay, at the end degrees of Pisces, and clearing it on this year 2022 of course is no coincidence, and clearly shows and backs up the Great Reset is coming 2022. So please do be prepared for it, expect it. Okay folks, thank you for watching this video. I again have left a link in the description for anyone who wants to check out the Beltane New Moon Years video. Also please like, share and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the bell at the right hand side of the subscribe button. Until next time, take care.